Ladies and gentlemen, it's your good friend Ernest Justin Turkey Leg with another edition of the podcast that I just came up with. I don't think I came up with a name with it yet, but we'll get into that eventually. This always happens. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited about the guest that I have for this podcast. This is only my second one, and the West Coast don't even know nothing about my first one, but it's already caught on like a motherfucking wildfire. And my guest that I have with me right now is former XTV champion on multiple occasions. He was also, a major star in the WWE, and he came over here and became, as big a star, if not even bigger, over here in XTV, and he still remains to this day, even after the hiatus of us not having a game for a long time. He still remains one of my favorite XTV superstars. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sean, that 80's guy, Hiccup.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Justin. I mean, when you were doing the introduction, I'm like, who's he talking about? Is he talking about me?
Oh, yeah.
All the accolades and things like that. You kind of forget, I'm getting a little bit older and things like that. But it's a pleasure to be here, man.
It's definitely good to have you, 80's guy. And
just make my nose itch.
He had some cheap-ass glasses, apparently. And
you gonna dog me like that, Justin?
I'm just playing.
Come on, you gonna dog me like that?
I'm just playing. I mean, you're a lighthearted guy, Edith's guy, and you're full of fun. So I feel like I can joke with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're very impressive, and for people over here on the East Coast who probably don't know nothing about the 80's guy, I mean, tell us a little bit about your first start in the WWE and how you first became a big name.
Well, like I said, that's very old. But I'm gonna try to, to explain it. You just get it. But anyway, but anyway, I probably got a problem. Sorry. Anyway, I first got my started back in the 70s and different things like that. I talked to Mike Graham,
Poppy, get out of here.
He was my trainer, and
Yeah.
I mean, I was just at the gym, young guy, you know what I mean? And, it was a lot of politics back then. I wasn't the big guy or nothing like that, but I had to work my way up to the top, and, me and my good friend, my good buddy, my pal, I don't remember his name. He was known as Electric Guy in the 90s. He eventually passed away. But we both came in together as a tag team. And Mike Graham, he trained me and, showed me the ropes. And, we both got our start in the WWE. And, we were just a tag team. And we just caught on our athletic ability and, how we were able to work together. It's just... And I got really famous on my own. We both kind of went our separate ways. We had a little bit of drama, coming up, and people were comparing me to Shawn Michaels and all these other different things. But eventually, I got my shot, and people were able to appreciate me. I got into various feuds with Destruction and different things like that. And that's a little brief detail about the 80's guy.
That's certainly a very interesting perspective on things. Now how long did you spend in the WWE?
I spent I spent 3 different time periods, stop trying to be like Shawn Michaels.
I understand.
The first time period was like when I came in, I think through the 80s or 70s. I stayed there till like 92 or no, excuse me, 96ish. And once I left in 96, I went to the WCW, and I stayed there for a while, and I got, hooked on drugs and different things like that. Fell on really hard times, came back to the WWE, and I had a crazy feud with Destruction, and they were kind of trying to build him as the next guy, and, me just working my ass off, all these years, and, they just bring in this big guy, and, it's like, wait a minute, all of a sudden, I felt like they were going backwards, because I felt like myself, I had a voice. I had a voice for that kid that was just too small, too weak, picked on all the time. I feel like I was the voice for him, like, it doesn't matter how small you are as long as you got the heart. And then it's like all of a sudden, Vince brings in this big guy. All of a sudden, it's like we're going backwards. You know what I mean? Now it's like, oh, you got to be this big in order to be accepted. When my whole message when I was in the WWE was be positive, be brave, and be yourself.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm on a whole different topic. That's
good, 80's guy. I mean, on this here platform, I want people to get a perspective of who that 80's guy is, and feel completely free to say whatever you want to. I mean, express yourself however you want to, because
I'll do that, ladies. After the show, I'll be at Hotel Motel 6 on 60th Street. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that you definitely you had mentioned that people gave you some kind of flack because you act like you was compared to Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
But I mean, even to this day, it's no question that you definitely have some of his qualities.
I think he was trained by the same trainer. And different things like that. We just kind of, we do have similar backgrounds, similar stories, and we eventually had fought later on in the WWE, and like towards the end. And, it wasn't a really big match around the time. It was about Pain and Best, like they were like a big feud towards the ending of the WWE.
I see.
So when me and Shawn fought, we fought, but that generation that wanted to see me and Shawn fight was kind of already, like they weren't really there in the WWE. The last days in the ratings, we weren't too good. We had got a lot of attention, but it was nowhere near the other things that were happening at the time, which is eventually why I was canceled. But I feel like I still haven't answered your question. But yeah, like my first period in the WWE was from 98 to 96, and I came back briefly in 98. Like I think from 98 to like maybe the middle of 99. And then I finally came back after like a long hiatus dealing with drugs and abuse, and I came back in 03. And from 03 to when the WWE finally closed, I was pretty much that main guy, and I came back. It was a very big comeback because, like I said, Pain and Best were like the highlight guys, and I was like, that guy under them where people were giving me my props. I could still move really good, and I kicked the drugs aside, and they made a movie about me. It was really big at that time. Wow. In 03, it was like super hot. And CAW, it was big over here in XTV, but it got so pushed aside once that started happening. Once I came back, once Best left CAW and Pain left, it's like it made the WWE so big where CAW, it eventually had to fold because there was no interest in it. Mm-hmm. And then that's when it was the I'm kind of telling the history of the WWE, but
that's fun because I mean XTV, and I want you to hold that thought because XTV East Coast don't have this type of information documented. This is all very interesting.
And that's why I'm happy to give you this. It's like because I'm realizing we never told you guys this, but the WWE was getting so big because you had Kickboxer and you had his son, who was there. Yeah. It's like, and I remember like. When they fought at Survivor Series.
Who I will be interviewing both of those two. Very talented.
Yeah, great kid. Oh, yeah. Great kid.
Very talented gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of both of those guys. I really am. Go ahead.
But his dad was trying his hardest to pass the torch to his son because, like, they were having, like, crazy matches. And it seemed like every time they would have a crazy match, the fans were like, oh, we want them to fight again. Oh, we want them to fight again. And eventually they teamed up. And that's how they became Kickboxer, or he was KBS at the time and KBS 2. That's how they became a team like that, because the fans wanted them to always fight, and then they were just like, we don't want to keep fighting. We're father and son. You know, we want to show our talent. And, you know, they were like a big touch. So that's the highlights. Myself coming back, like everybody had a unique story. KBS and his son, myself, Payne and Best. I mean, I wish, like, it's crazy. I wish I could have footage of how their feud was at the time.
Yeah.
It was so intense. But for them not to even come into contact with each other, but the history behind both of these two and what they shared in common was what made Payne and Best really, you know, big at the time. And, you know, I was second up as far as like popularity wise. But yeah, you know, I think I had to say something I can't remember. Sorry about it. Getting old.
Well, you know, just it's definitely, you know, unheard of here over here on the East Coast, the story of the WWE, and so that's why, you know, I mean, it's just great to have you, 80s guy. I mean, you know, I talked about being a fan of the kickboxers, but I'm a huge fan of yours as well. You know, I mean, the excitement that you bring to the ring, and you know, the excitement of your matches. You know, it's very thrilling, and I definitely enjoy calling your matches. Look forward to doing it later on in the future. Now I'm drawing a blank, but I'm smoking weed, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, let me just say this: since you're drawing a blank,
all right,
I just want to say that you know, the WWE, I feel like I kind of put that wrong. Like, it isn't that we were doing really bad in the ratings. I kind of said that wrong thinking about it. It's like we were the highlight. You know, we kind of like made CAW leave. You know, and CAW was so hot, like it was so big, and then, you know, we were all already here, but it's just like the characters and the stories that were going on made the WWE hot. And when we folded, we thought we should have folded because we felt like, I think it was on something like, oh, you know, compared to what was happening, because that was the Day of Reckoning era. Like when WWE finally left, it was when that was happening, when Bobby was out, and you know, all the different things that started to spring up. Charles Dean, that era, it was like XTV, you know what I mean? We kind of really wanted to give that shine. Like, it wasn't really a ratings issue, now that I remember. It was that we were having so much fun, and it was just difficult to keep up week after week. It's like every Monday, because we were specific. Every Monday we had to do the WWE no matter what. And you know, this is hard to say because Super Duper still hasn't come to terms with this, but back when he was at that place over there, it was like he really didn't have anything. And then when she got rid of the PS2, it's like all he had was the WWE. That's all he had. So he was kind of put in a position where he was forced to do it every Monday and Thursday and Sunday, whenever the pay-per-views was.
Right.
So when he was over there, it was like that's what he did. But then it was like now he's moved to Houston, to Temple Terrace, and then we got the GameCube, and that's what was taking off. You know what I mean? That's what we were really concentrating on. And so to keep doing that week after week, it got kind of tiring. You know, and it was still big. That's why when WWE Forever, that pay-per-view that came back, when we came back, that's why the crowd was like that. They missed us.
Yeah.
Like it was still a big thing for the WWE. People really was like, it was exciting.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's why it was so big when it came back. And I really want to touch on that era, but I want to make this point by saying that, you know, the WWE was the biggest highlight in my life because I got so much fans. And then when I came to XTV, I felt like those fans were there, but they weren't familiar with XTV. It was a different vibe. You know, that's why when we were doing the WWE at the time, we were telling you guys, like, don't curse or nothing like that, because it really was a different story. And eventually, you know, it was XTV after a while because people started cursing, and, you know, we were trying to keep it.
If I was there, it was...
it wasn't you, it was Bobby, I remember. He doing a shoot.
That's a shoot, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, this is a shoot on that asshole.
We're definitely gonna get into that. Feuds with Bob Classic, feuds with other people in XTV. We're definitely gonna get to that part. But right now, I just want to take the time to really develop an understanding of the history of not only the 80s guy, but as he's also establishing of the WWE that XTV East Coast people probably do not know anything about, and certain historians I know will definitely appreciate this type of information. A lot of good friends of mine over here on the East Coast. But I had AVW on my very first show, and I got to bring him back. We gonna be on the truck on Monday. I got him on Monday, and but he was talking about how when WWF was starting out, he talked about the earliest days of XTV, of what we now call XTV, and he was talking about how it didn't have a name, and there was Baby was there, and A-Man and King Kong, and he talked about how that eventually developed into him playing with toys, and how that later developed into the video games and different things like that. And how A-Man went from being his rival to being the main guy to the of the company, which was formed SIDE. And my point in saying that is that with AVW, he had all these different toys. With Super Duper, he actually used his hands. You know what I'm saying? So is that like during the point from when it first started all the way up to 2003?
Pretty much, like, because when you were explaining that, I was like, that's crazy, because like I started remembering the WWE kind of always existed because Soup was like, call me Soup.
He said that already. Go ahead.
He was always doing stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he would think of things like, oh, Booker T versus Stevie Ray. I want to have that match will play out, and he'll just do it. It's really just him thinking at the end of the day how it would come out. Right. And so I remember back in 2001, like the WWE was there. Like we always was there. That's one thing I want to say about it. It's not something that we just kind of just did. It's something that always existed, but it never got that much attention really to the mainstream until 2003 is when Kickboxer and them, and like the stories I was saying, my comeback story, Pain and Best, of course, that's when it started getting picked up by major outlets and people were seeing it. You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, this is what it is. And what was your question?
I was saying, was Soup doing that with his hands? Was that like, is that where it stopped at in 2003? No,
he did that his whole life. He did that to the end. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And when was the end?
The end was like 2005. It was like 2005.
Officially 2005 when XTV came in and everything was just pretty much XTV.
It was and it's crazy. That's why I regret what I said when I said it was a ratings issue, because it wasn't. Because I remember Mike Tyson came back in 2005. And he was going to fight the Pain. And this is, you guys remember Pain in 2005. He was like, he was crazy. And his boxing was great. It still is. He's come back. But that was going to be a big match. And we were hyping it up. And we just did WrestleMania 31 at that time. It's crazy because WrestleMania 31 happened last year for the other book. I'm digressing.
Right.
And,
Bobby, please. Damn, I hate that. I hate that guy.
I can't wait to shoot on that.
Oh my,
that motherfucker right there. You don't expect me to fucking curse that hard.
You can say whatever you want to say on this show. I don't have a kid friendly show. I can't do it, folks.
But anyway.
Hate to butt in right here, ladies and gentlemen, but have you ever thought about investing your money? I'm talking about in your own savings account or starting up a checking account. And if you do have one, how well is your credit? Well, the good folks over at Regions Bank can really help you out. They help me out. They help me establish some credit even when I have no credit. I'm talking about they set me up with a line of credit. I gave them some money, and they gave me some money, and I gave them some money, and they gave me some money. Right now, I'm establishing my credit, and I'm trying to get me a perfect score. A year from now, I'll be able to do that, thanks to the good folks over at Regions Bank. Maybe you should think about trying it. I know it's worked for me. It might work for you too. You know what else might work for you? My good friend, Alex Trevelyan. Alex Trevelyan has got this new workout program that is shocking the world. I mean, it's changed people's lives. It even changed my wife's life. She had lost 200 pounds, although she's still fat. But it's working wonders. Alex Trevelyan has come up with this brand new program that is fit for anybody's age group and anybody's brain capacity. Even a dummy can do it. You gotta just download the Alex Trevelyan app. On the 006 app, you'll find all these different nutrition guides and different plans for each day of the week and all through the month, even throughout the whole year, to help you break down and have healthy portions and delicious food just at a low cost. Check out the 006 app. I know it's worked for somebody I know personally, even though she's still fat.
Gosh. But anyway, yeah, he was always doing that. And that was the official end, like 05-ish, you know. And the thing is, I remember once we ended, it was still a request. It was still like, because when the WWE was going, it was gone. You know, it was no WWE rerun channel or, you know, this, that. It was gone, you know. Soup had his old VHSs. Shut up. And, you know, people, the reruns were so popular. I mean, my chest hurts from laughing.
We want to start getting some water.
Pause. Yeah. Give me a second.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Ernest Turkey Leg.
80's guy.
Sitting right here with the champ, one of my favorites of all time, the 80's guy. And he just shared some light on some very interesting topics. You know, talked about the WWE, his early start, how he got into the WWE, how he sort of got caught going down the wrong road in life, you know, with drug issues, big comeback, becoming once again one of the main highlights in the WWE, along with the Pain and Best, with a huge feud that I can't wait to talk about. With probably I'm gonna talk to the Best and Pain on separate occasions, and also DKJ, David Kidd Sr., you know. Big time things going on for the 80's guy during that time period. Why don't you take us along the ride and tell us what else happened?
Yeah, around that time though, you know, 03, because that's when the WWE really got their respect, you know, and DKJ and DKS, like they just came back, you know, and it was crazy because they were father and son, but they worked like brothers, you know what I mean? Just the way their work rate in the ring, you know, when they held the belts for a while, and that's one thing, you know, I want to kind of transition, you know, in a little while, but first I want to talk about NMM. That's my friend. That's my fucking friend. You know, NMM's a very good guy. He's the first guy to ever come from the WWE to XTV. And, you know, we first got in our feud because, keep in mind, I'm the 80's guy, you know, so I was doing a lot of things in the 80's.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And so then he was that 90's guy at the time in the 90's. Yeah. So, you know, and he was like, look, this isn't the 80's no more. We got into our little feud. We had like several ladder matches. Wow. And the first one, he did his move off the ladder, and it was one of those highlights in the WWE history. You know, but what I was saying with that is like me seeing that, you know, backstage in the backstage area, because that was in, what was that, 04? The feeling backstage was very different, you know, when that happened, because the WWE was always its own thing. It never was like, you know, we are a part of XTV. It was never like that. We were our own entity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the feeling backstage was this guy's a traitor, but at the same time he still works for the WWE. So it's like, you know, he had some people back there. Me, I'm his friend, you know, and I'm gonna stick with him no matter what. But at the end of the day, I remember I'm just like, you know, how the people were. They were just like, what is this guy doing? He's selling out. He's messing up the tradition of what the WWE represents. We're our own thing. Yeah. You know, we didn't even tell you guys about it till years later.
That's huge right there. That's a pipe bomb right there. You know, I mean, that's just like phenomenal, because I never heard of nothing like that. You know, until now, getting it from that 80's guy. You know, what you was gonna say?
Oh no, go ahead. Yes.
Well, no, I mean it's just like that's just crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's just that like we always wanted it to be separated, you know, and a lot of people looked at that as messing up the tradition. It's like because he was doing something, and then he came back as NMM because it was the new millennium now. You know, he switched his whole name up, his whole character up. You guys remember his entrances? You know, that's what caught on about him, and then his moves as well.
Absolutely.
You know, and it was just so unique.
Yeah.
You know,
and I never tied you guys together.
Oh yeah.
Until you just not put that out there. I never like connected 80's guy, New Millennium Man, because you know once you got to XTV, which we'll get into later on, you know, once you got to that, like you guys never teamed up. And NMM, as you said, came in before you, and so I didn't know that he was in both brands.
Yeah. He was in both brands. He was prior to Pain Best, that highlight feud that, you know, I really wish I could really talk wholly about, but it's like I feel like they would do it better justice because they were there, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like that his feud with the Undertaker, it was NMM and the Undertaker, they had such a crazy feud because they were like dominant as a tag team. They were like dominant all the time. Every time you see them, they win. It was like that, you know what I mean?
Undertaker and NMM?
Yeah, they were like tag team.
Yeah.
And so when they broke up, it was like, because, and that's one thing we did with the fans. It was like a roller coaster. It's like, you know, They're like, they broke up. What the fuck are they doing? You know, that's the feeling with the fans. And then they see what happens with it and what transpires from it. They're like, oh. And it was just a lot of storylines like that. It was just a lot of, you know, like, ooh and ah type shit. It's like, oh my God, like, wait a minute. Like, it never stopped. Like, when you think we're finna just do a story and just turn it to crap, you know, like that other company does that's still around. How the fuck? You know, but, you know,
what other company are you talking about?
You know, that company with Roman Reigns and, you know, different things like that. The other shit company.
Oh, I see.
You know, white-faced.
Well, you can say whatever you want to on here. You know, you don't have to be ashamed.
But, no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you know, I am going to watch WrestleMania 32.
But, yeah, it was that, you know, they were highlights. And when he had went there, it was a big, and you see, when NMM, the first WWE guy to go to XTV, it took years for anybody else from the WWE to go to XTV because we still believed in that tradition of this is our own thing. Right. You know what I mean? We held on to that strongly. It's like, it's crazy the history of the WWE because it got popular in 2000 over here, but it's like it was always going on and it was always its own thing. You know, but it got so big that it became XTV, you know. And so with that, you know, that was really big. Finally in 05, you know, when it ended, it was like these guys were like, where else are we going to go? You know, and a lot of people felt like the WWE guys, we were so popular and we had our selections of fans. We felt like, oh man, when we go to when we go to XTV, they're just gonna chew us up and spit us out because we had a fan base and we had a vibe with the WWE, and we felt like that wouldn't mesh well with XTV. A perfect example is the guy who I had a feud with, Destruction. Like, that's why when we brought him there, like, you guys don't really know this, but XTV West, they really was destroyed that Destruction didn't work because it's like he was hot in the WWE, like
Wow.
really big. You know what I mean? And we felt like, because I think we were like hyping it up to you guys, like prior to him coming.
Yeah,
We were
I
like,
remember the hype.
Yeah, we were like, man, you guys are gonna love him, because I remember all the stuff he did. He had this devastating ass clothesline, which broke my neck. That's one thing I didn't mention. In 1998, my neck got broke, and that made my addiction to drugs even worse. Because destruction, you know, we're cool and everything, but it's like when he did his clothesline, he was like careless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he did it so hard that it broke my neck. You know, and I was out for a while, and I depended on drugs. You know what I mean? Feeling sorry for myself, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, you know, when we brought him there, and he probably was the second guy to come from the WWE to over there. And so when we seen, it was, he was, because we had made him on 06 when we first got the game. And then you guys just didn't like him. You know what I mean? He was in that same category as El Temblor, you know, and Boy Wonder and stuff. Like, he was in that same Bruce category. And we were like, that hurted us, because we knew that he was like...
That's a name I ain't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Bruce.
That's what I'm saying. And that was the early days of 06 where it was like, is this going to work? You know what I mean? We were testing waters with guys, and Destruction was one of those guys that we felt like, okay, this is going to bring interest to it. This is going to bring it, you know, you guys are going to get it.
Yeah.
And it didn't work at all. And it was like, wow, you know. And that's why it took a while for finally this guy's coming to XTV. Then this guy, because we were like, okay, we probably have to slowly do it to build on these characters instead of just throwing them all at one time. Like, we were like, people were scared because they didn't want to. We had a lot to lose.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Coming from a company that you guys know little about.
Nothing
You know
about.
what I mean? Exactly. Nothing about. Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
You
Because it
guys
was kept a secret.
Yeah, and MM just came there. You guys
Eminem
probably
just
thought he was a
showed
new
up.
character.
He was a new character to us.
Yeah.
He was the brand new sensation right after the Moonsault Kid.
Exactly, right? Because Moonsault was 03, and then he just came in 04, and you guys probably thought, oh, this is just some new rookie, but he was from a place where he had...
NMM was hot. He was on fire. He was a lot like you. You know, he was just like you, because when he came in, he was just on fire. He was the shit. Oh yeah, when he came in, he was like off the chain, like off the charts. I mean, we had seen Moonsault, and Moonsault never failed to impress. You know, Moonsault was the type of guy that you thought, you know, he might fail this time, but he was that comeback kid, and he just never ceased to impress. And NMM was just like that, if not even, you know, probably even better. You know,
he was a great successor to Moonsault Kid because he had the entrance. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the Kid, he kind of always just kind of had the same look. You know, the overalls, the 1, 2, 3 kid kind of, you know, respect or whatever.
Right, definitely.
You know, but NMM, he was his own thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? He stood on his own. He had the
dreads. He had the damn purple hair and shit.
Exactly.
The
and
colorful
after a while,
outfit.
he became a goth, and you know what I mean?
He changed his identity. He reinvented himself. He was down with Team Dark.
Yeah, shadowing them.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, NMM was very impressive, and you know he can even survive in today's game. You know, whenever it comes, you know he'll definitely be a big.
Think so? I mean,
absolutely,
he'll
be
like
a big player.
I feel like after 2010, when they did the Power Rangers thing, NMM and
Ryan Vargas.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of, you know, even though that's my friend and everything, you said this is an honest interview. I feel like that kind of made him, you know, sink a little bit because it was like he wasn't, and then he turned back to that. To what we knew him as. It's like, don't go back.
But it's a different age now. See, now after what has happened, after the long hiatus of it being no platform for XTV superstars or athletes or, you know, guys to just go out there and do their thing, since we haven't had that means that now when it comes back, that however many blank spaces it is to create a character, it's anybody's ball game. It's gonna be back to how it was like in 06, where we're gonna have to go through that trial. You're gonna see those Bruces. You're gonna see those guys that, you know, they might work out and they might not. You just never know. And that's what it's gonna be back to once the game come back. And I think that if NMM, if he come back and and compete, you know, on that high level once again and reinvent himself and, you know, just, you know, be him now, I think it'll catch on like fire. You know, I mean, because we missed that.
I remember, you just made me think of something. Like, it was this guy, at the place that Super Duper doesn't want to talk about. Like, he just kind of looked at Super Duper's paper where, he had the matches, like all the names of the people in the WWE. And I remember he put my name at the top. He was like, oh, his name sticks out the most, the 80's guy. And I was over NMM, Best, and, that's another thing that kind of pushed me, you know what I mean? Because it was like, you got to understand, I just came back in 03. No. 04, 03, I had finally came back. I can't remember, but like, and so for me to just come back and still have that love from those kids in that place over there, it meant a lot for me. But what I was trying to go into is how it took us a while for somebody to come from the WWE to XTV, and I think after Destruction, people just weren't sure. They weren't sure, and I don't even know who was the next person to come. It probably was the kids. It probably was them.
It probably was.
And when they came, I remember, like, as we're making them, we're just like, okay, this could fail. Because we still had a fresh memory of how Destruction really didn't work out at all.
Yeah.
And it really left a sour taste in everybody's mouth.
But they came, not to cut you off, but they came at the perfect time. Those guys came at the right place at the right time, because during that time in XTV was probably like 08. And it was the era of the athletes.
Right.
And that's what it was all about. It was all about who can go in there and just, entertain the fuck out of us. And just leave us in awe. And everybody was so hot.
I remember when they came, dude. It was like as we're seeing them be created and everything, it's just that thing in the back of our head. Okay, this could either work or really not work. Yeah. We should just, I felt like that would have killed the WWE's legacy if they didn't work. Because Destruction was, I'm sorry to keep going back to him, but it's like, he was so hot. Like, he was like, and the way we just seen it transition, it's like, oh man, Destruction is this, he's that. And like, you guys are going to love this guy. Yeah. And then for him to just fail like that, it was like, it's similar to, they were mentioning this on XTV discussions. I wish we still had it. What happened?
I'm laughing because when we talk about Bob ass, but go ahead.
But damn, hold on. What the fuck?
Because you was talking about Destruction.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Oh man, I'm sorry. I started laughing. It is my fault. I apologize, but I just want to touch on the point, and it might come back to you as I'm talking. But one of the reasons, I think probably the main reason why Destruction didn't work is because XTV already had a Destruction in Charles Dean.
That's another thing that comes to mind. I'm probably not going to remember that, but what happened with Charles Dean, he was already a dominating force. But the thing is, Destruction had, it's like Stone Cold meets Goldberg in a way. You know what I mean? That's not what he really was, but it was similar to what that was. It's like the great qualities, because he was a shit talker. And he'll go in there and he'll say something and it would just be so crazy. But he said it from a real perspective. Like Stone Cold, even though he said it from his real perspective, it was very southern like. Like with Destruction, he said it in a very like just a normal person, like, look, I'm gonna kick your ass, like, and it's just the way the vibe he gave off was impressive. 80's kind of slobbing. But you back on drugs. Anyway, a lot of kids coming back and forth.
Yeah. Badass kids. I gotta get a different location, ladies and gentlemen, because I can't do shit.
But as I was saying, when he didn't work, we were just like, okay, the kids might not work, and then they worked. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. We had a lot to lose. Like, I want you guys to know that with the WWE, we stand on our own. We got our own fan base. They keep up with us, and then this XTV thing, like, you guys don't know us. We're outsiders going into something that you guys know nothing about. And then the kids came, and they were like, okay. And I think
the David Kidd came. Oh, did they come together or did they come separate?
Nah, the son came first.
Okay.
Because the dad has been trying to retire for years, but when you love this business, fuck, do you love this business? BJ Roberts. He always loved this business, and he was going to give it to his son, but they worked so well together that, that's what you guys wanted to see.
Oh, yeah.
And did they ever impress? Did they ever hold down the championships for a long time? And they were like really
top tag teams. And
so when they worked, I was so afraid to step foot in XTV. Like, I remember when we were making the 80's guy. I remember when we were doing the name. It was like, even then, we're just like, shit. Because I'm the guy that had a feud with one of the biggest characters in the WWE history. If you ever look at the history, if it's ever a cover, you will see these guys on the cover. Me, Pain, Best, and of course, Destruction. You know what I mean? Because he was so popular. So, like, I'm making myself, you know what I'm saying? After all these things, the kids, they were successful, but am I going to be successful? NMM was successful, but am I going to be successful? And you got all this pressure tied to you. Me making my name, me looking like this, and you got Killer at the time. Oh man, this fake ass Shawn Michaels, and
yeah, definitely.
Man was how they were at the time, and all I did when I first came in was fight my ass off and lose. That's all I did. Looking back, think about it. My earliest matches, 09.
You're absolutely right.
All I did was fight hard. And I will never forget, Bobby was on commentary, and he had said one thing about the 80's guy, and this is when I finally realized, okay, it's okay. Bob said, one thing I realized about the 80's guy is he gets his ass kicked. And as he's saying this, I'm getting more nervous and more nervous. He gets his ass kicked. He loses bad as hell. Because sometimes when we're playing the game, it gets to the point where you guys just like tell the truth. It's like we'll play our first match with whoever's new, and you guys are like, he's okay, and it just come that one time where you guys just kind of tell the truth, and you're just like, this isn't working because of this, because you finally got a perception of him. You finally know how he is as an athlete, and now you're like, you made up your mind, like, okay, this guy sucks, and this is why, and so this was like that time, Bobby's review, and it was just like, one thing about 80's guy. He loses all the time. He gets his ass kicked. But he's an incredible athlete. And when I heard that, because at the time, you guys were really critical, like Bobby, Killer, and it was like, what you guys said, it was like, okay, this guy goes.
Yep, that's true.
But when Bob said that was like, that gave me the, okay, it's okay. Because I thought the fact that I was losing was kind of bad on me. Because, I'm 80's guy, and we kind of explained the story a little bit to you guys. We're like, he's from the WWE. You guys still don't really know about it like that at the time. Not until later on in the year when we get to, WWE show. But, and, I worked, and I was surprised that I was working. And then eventually I won the belt, And
which belt? Did you get any of the smaller titles first, or?
I think I probably did. That's been long ago, but I probably did get like maybe the IC belt or something like that. Yeah. But I remember when I won the heavyweight belt, and then I just remember the feeling I was getting because I was having a lot of. Huh?
Do you know who you beat?
I can't remember, man. Like, I remember that I did have a best of 7 with Yaki though, and that's one of the things that kind of made me a star. Because we got one of those matches recorded, remember?
I think we got a couple
rematches, And I remember me and Yaki, like, we were going out there, and Yaki was respecting me, and
Well, that's probably why they put you with Yaki, because Yaki, he respect everybody in the ring, and he'll just go out there and have a friendly, fun ass match.
And that's one thing about it, like that's the guy. Like, I will say that's the guy that really showed me respect as far as the East Coast, because like West Coast, East Coast, they're very critical. You know what I mean? If they don't like something, they're not going to even give it a chance. They're not going to give it a breath. You know what I mean? To breathe. Like, I remember the one guy that came in here that did like this, and Killer just chewed him up.
Oh, that's my butler. He's my butler now.
No, that wasn't him. Like, that's the thing. It was that guy, and then he eventually came. Terry Williams came second. But that guy, he got destroyed.
He lasted one day. I don't even know his name. That's a shame, because I usually remember everybody's name, but I don't even remember his name.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and you thought he was Terry Williams, but It wasn't. It was some other guy.
Because Terry Williams be doing some shit. He be posing or some shit like this.
And Killer, he chewed him up too. But you see where he is now. He's a butler now.
Yeah. Terry's kind of cool.
And that's the thing. It's like, because I had a pretty good vibe on me. When I came in, I wasn't like, because everybody that came in at XTV, they were always like on some rowdy shit. Always like, like always starting something type.
Yeah.
And I was different. You know what I mean? I didn't come in as that. The kids didn't come in as that.
That's right.
We were just normal. And that's what we thought wasn't going to work. It's our vibe, our way of thinking, our way of dealing with things, handling situations was different. And so me and Yaki having that Best of 7 series, Bob saying what he said, it was like that gave me confirmation. It's like, and the fact that it's just the story is just incredible with me, because when you look at it, it's like the WWE, I did my thing. I was popular over there. You know what I mean? And then I fell on hard times, came back there, went to WCW. It was okay, All the stories are true. That's all I got to say about that. But anyway, we did that. And then for me to be gone from 05, from a company you know nothing about, to come to this new thing in XTV.
Oh, yeah.
And for me to get popular, it's like, whoa. And that's why when Bobby was saying that's why I went to my name. Me putting my name when we were doing Creative Wrestling, we're like, damn, because we thought of all the failures. And the fact that you guys know nothing about this, and I'm this popular, you know what I mean, at this company. And now XTV, and then Bobby's comment, and that's one guy, I said I'm going to shoot on him, but still, that's one guy I respect his opinion.
Everybody respects Bob and Killer's opinion. That's just law around here.
It is, because when they say something, it's like, okay, it goes.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to sugarcoat anything, ever. You know what I mean? It's going to be the blood raw truth. It's going to hurt.
And it's going to be cold. It's going to hurt.
That's why when he was like, oh, this guy loses, this guy gets beat up, it's like, I'm thinking he's going to say I suck and I should just erase myself. And that's going to be it for us trying to give you guys the story of the WWE, which you know nothing about.
Right.
We just wanted to always give you guys just a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Now you guys kind of almost got the whole thing with me telling the story.
Yeah.
Right?
It's beautiful. I'm loving all of this. I'm so happy that you're my first ever West Coast guy to do a podcast.
I'm happy to do it, man.
Oh my gosh, I'm happy to have you here. I'm sitting with that 80's guy, ladies and gentlemen, and he telling us a whole bunch of shit that he telling me a bunch of shit I just never knew nothing about. Going back a little bit, I wanted to talk about Destruction, and I wanted to say now, didn't he started out in GXT?
No, he started out in NXT. See, you guys don't remember, but
he wasn't in GXT.
Yeah, he was, but see,
he didn't go there first.
No, he was in. See, when we did 06 back in late 05, when we had first got 06, he was like one of the guys we made. That's why I said he was in the Bruce category at first, because we made him, but he went unnoticed. He wasn't that good. You know what I mean? You guys already had Charles Dean, and so with GXT, that's when he came. That's when he came back. And he was popular in GXT. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at the time, the feeling was, what is GXT? You know what I mean? What is this thing? And he was popular over there, but he was popular in another brand. He wasn't popular in XTV. You know what I mean? And we probably did bring him over one time during that era to XTV, but it still didn't work. You guys still didn't see what was the good qualities about him. But in GXT, it fit because GXT was fast paced and it kind of suited his style just a little bit, But 06, a lot of people couldn't transition. You know what I mean? It was almost hard for me. You gotta see how I fight, what type of athlete I am. You know what I mean? So that's, again, going back to me even doing my name on the game. I'm like, damn, I'm too fast paced for this. Like, I'm a different kind of guy. Yeah. And I'm probably not going to mesh with him.
Exactly. It's tough to be that kind of guy in XTV.
On 06 especially. It was more of a, how it was.
Yeah, but certain people, was able to pull it off. You did it very well. The kids did it. Yaki did it. I enjoyed watching Foxy Hot, so, it was doable, and you guys proved it. Moving forward, though, WWE was relived through SmackDown 5, was it?
Yeah, Here Comes the Pain.
Now, when did that happen?
This happened literally one of those things that just kind of happened overnight. You know, Super Duper's just seeing how well some of the characters that we brought from the WWE are doing and transitioning to XTV, and he's just like, man, you know, 80's guys doing good. Okay, not destruction, you know, but the kids are doing good. And he's like, damn, you know, what happened if I bring it back? And that's the thing. It was just really going to be one show we were thinking about doing, you know, but it's like we just kind of figured probably towards as we were getting close to doing WWE Forever, we were just like, man, maybe we should like do something else, cause we did WWE Forever and it was so big to us. You know, you guys didn't really know nothing about it. We only told you certain things about it, and we did it, man. Those fans in the building, like I remember, like I don't know what each tape is on, but I remember how the fans were, and it was like, you know, this is a shoot right here. But for Super Duper to just be doing this in his imagination and then see on the game, because he didn't see the arena before he did it.
That's right.
So for him to do it on the arena and see all those fans, it was like, damn, are fans really watching me? You know, that's how he felt seeing it like that. It was like, because when you had said like, damn, look at all these fans, and Super's like, I know, right?
Yeah.
You know, because it was like really like, damn, these are the fans that were waiting when we just left in 05.
Yeah, man. Jam-packed building. I think,
God.
wasn't we a part of that?
Yeah, we had to wake you up because you were asleep.
I'm telling you, it was worth it, man. Being in that atmosphere, that's one of my most fond memories of the WWE, and probably one of my most favorite pay-per-views that I was ever a part of. That's real.
I'm surprised about that, because
seriously, that was a lot of fun. I gotta say, one of my favorite pay-per-views, probably my most favorite pay-per-view that I called on the West Coast, as far as West Coast pay-per-view.
I gotta say that I understand why you feel that way, because you never understood, you never knew what it was, and then when we did SummerSlam, to me, I feel like that was the best thing we ever did as far as the WWE. That was it. Like everything culminated. That's what was popular about it. It's like all these different storylines go, and you're wondering how they're going to end, and it all happens at this pay-per-view.
Didn't Yaki wrestle Jeff Hardy there?
That shit was crazy. Yeah. He wrestled him at Forever and at there.
Okay.
You know, and I feel like Forever, like, that was the introduction for you guys, and you guys seen what it was.
Yep, it was.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, this is what we were trying to tell you guys, you know. And I think Destruction and me fought. You know, I don't really remember that match too much, but I just remember the atmosphere and the vibe of it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really what we captured. Like, it wasn't really about the matches. It was about the vibe that we wanted to capture. Like, this is what the WWE is all about.
Wow.
And, you know, we did that, and then we eventually did the WWE throughout the summer of 09. You know what I mean? I think we stopped in, like, September, maybe. Something like that. And, you know, we had a lot of fun doing some of those episodes. Some episodes you guys weren't a part of, but this is where shit gets real with the 80's guy, you know.
Okay.
I feel like this, man. You know, I respect Bobby as an athlete, but to me, around this time, he just was really focusing really hard on being a heel. And, you know, it was like, I remember, like, sometimes where it was like I knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to be that heel that everybody hates, you know, but it got to a point where it was just ridiculous. And he was really making himself look dumb, because I remember when he was like, it was the Undertaker versus Undertaker match. Yeah. And we were trying to make it like, oh my God, it's the Undertaker versus Undertaker. It was the Biker Taker versus the other one. And I remember when SummerSlam happened, I remember he was just like getting in a fight with everybody. Like he was just, I remember he hit Trunks, and it was really for no reason. And I remember we were like, why did you do that? Like everybody was shocked. And you're like, shut up, 80's guy, what the fuck are you doing out here? And I remember he did something like that. And we were like, what is going on? Like, why are you doing this? He's like, because I do what the fuck I want to do. I remember he was just like that. And I didn't get it. Like I get it, and I wish I could talk to Bobby about this, because around that time,
I hate Bobby.
I understand, but like around that time, I just didn't understand what was his mindset. Like, what were you trying to accomplish? Okay, you're trying to be a heel, you're trying to be hated, but why? Like, what is that really doing for you? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we were really trying to do. And he was like, why the fuck you come out here, 80's? That's what I was trying to get. Like, what are you doing? And then the SummerSlam pay-per-view is like the Undertaker comes out there, you know, and and they fight, and then he's like, look, see, he's way smaller than the other Undertaker, and we're like, dude, this is supposed to be, and that's why we're saying the WWE was different. You know what I mean? We didn't focus on like obvious shit. You know, it's like
it's not about that. It's about, you know.
And so for him to do that was a big slap in the face. And I remember he won like every major title. Like for us to even let you in our company, and then you win all our titles, you could at least have a little level of respect. Like I get that you want to be a heel, but just at least do it with a little bit of respect. Like it was similar to how a lot of guys felt when Killer did what he did to the title. He disgraced the belt. And I felt like with Bobby doing that disgraced our legacy, what we were doing, while we didn't even want XTV to know about us in the first place. And, you know, that was like a big slap in the face. And then, you know, I mean, I do want to talk about this in order, but I just want to skip ahead to Survival of the Fittest. When we had fought in our match, me and Bobby, I was wearing that green and everything, and I remember I had won. I think I won that match or something, and then he goes, he beats me up after the match, like it's on. We got it, and he beats me up, and it's just like that's what I'm talking about. It's just like. It doesn't make sense. And I remember one time in 11, LT was doing this rant on Bob, and like I was kind of agreeing. I didn't want to say nothing, but it's like it's true. It's like I feel like Bob is very intelligent, but he doesn't think things through. Like he doesn't think about what he's doing. You are in a company. We let you in. We rarely let XTV people in. Pain and Best, they will tell you they had to work hard.
Like the only guy.
Huh?
Him and like Yaki. Like, not that many XTV guys.
Exactly. Like, it was only a few select. It's like, and the reason we selected them, because we felt like they had a certain level of class, a certain level of respect, and we respect you enough to come in our backyard that's different from your backyard, so please respect our yard because we're letting you in. He didn't do that. He disgraced the WWE. You know what I mean? Not that our legacy is forgotten. I'm able to tell it, putting smiles on you guys' face, but at the end of the day, it's just the way it ended. It's like we gave the title to a guy that doesn't respect something that we've been doing for years. And, you know, I know he's changed and everything, and he's gotten a whole lot more better. He's a lot more mature. But I feel like that was a disgrace at the time. You know, and as much as people hated Killer at that time for being as arrogant and rude as he was, look at that situation. You know, what does that say about Bobby?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and, you know, given that perspective, I mean, that's definitely a real heel move, you know, and
it's not even a heel move.
No, I mean like in real life, like that's just like real fucked up. And around that time, I could see Bob, you know, being like that, you know, and you know, I don't know what the hell be going through Bob's mind. I got to be honest, you know, Bob is just like off the damn wall a whole lot of the time, and it's just like you said, he don't seem to think things through. But that's another topic for another day. You know, hell of a run in the WWE, but you know, so you spent time in the WWE and XTV. You was back and forth then.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
So during that time when you was so how was your time in, like when the WWE came back? What level of the playing field were you on? Were you as big as you was when you first started? And also, how were you doing in XTV at the same time?
Well, it was different because now that I remember, we recorded on Mondays and Thursdays, you know, specifically. And sometimes if we slept or something, we'll just like...
Sometimes SmackDown got skipped.
No, actually it never got skipped.
SmackDown never got skipped?
Never. Like, we did that. We literally did every episode every week. We did it right on time. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, and sometimes we did it like if we skipped SmackDown, okay, we'll do it Friday. Maybe SmackDown did get skipped.
I think SmackDown got skipped a couple times.
You know,
but I can't confirm.
But let's see what's going on. Wait, what'd you ask?
I was asking, you know.
It was. I was still popular. Like I was still loved. I felt like I was still making my way up in XTV though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? As far as that, because I remember like some people couldn't work in XTV and the WWE. Remember?
At the same time.
If you were in the WWE, you couldn't be in XTV. It was like that. And I think only there were a few exceptions. Me, Bob, and Charles Dean and Payne probably though. You know.
But I think I remember seeing Yaki. Was he a regular or was that just a special match?
No, he was there. He was there like sometimes, and
Okay.
it was probably an interpromotional match though. Now that I remember, because I think Jeff Hardy challenged him, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I really feel better now that I got that off my chest about Bob though.
I'm glad,
Because the more and more I look at the last days of the WWE and us doing it, it's like I remember it wasn't like a chore to do it, but it just. We never told you that, Bob, but like we really felt like it was just kind of disrespected, and it became XTV, and that's what we tried to not do.
Yeah.
We didn't want to become XTV. We wanted it to be the WWE. And yeah, some people say, "Oh, well, you're letting the XTV guys in. What do you expect?" It's like we tried to let the ones in that we felt had the most class, the most respect for the, presentation.
Exactly.
And then we bled in a bad apple. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because
Right.
I think Killer was there too, and Killer didn't do anything wrong. Like Killer, think
Killer
about
was
it.
there?
Yep. See, that's another thing. Killer was there, and he never did anything disrespectful.
No, he wasn't.
never-
Yeah, exactly. He was quiet as a little mouse.
Yeah, and think about it. It's Killer in 09.
It's Killer. And
You know what I mean? So for him to have a level of class.
Now, can you take me back to like how things was like with you and the guys?
What's that?
In the WWE, I mean behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, you see, in the 90s, I was a bit of a nuisance to Clay. I used to, just kind of do what I want, kind of make my own rules. It was my locker room. But, and
They can't get enough.
me and a few of the guys, the kid, especially, we just kind of made our own rules, and some people still haven't forgiven me to this day, but at the end of the day, I have changed, I've given my life to Christ,
Well, you know what? That's good. 80's
and and so our relationships, like me and the kids, we were cool.
Yeah.
Like it's like
You don't really too much deal with too many like guys in the back. You just pretty much got your guys that you've been sticking with since day one.
pretty much, but
day one.
but the reception in the locker room is so much respect. Like when I come back there, it's like, oh my God, 80's guy, I look up to you. Help the kids out as much as I can.
I was surprised, that LT had such a level of respect for you.
At the end of the day, though, not that I'm having an ego on me or being arrogant. It's like I expected that because like what I was doing in the WWE, what it captured that when we brung it back, and then when I was working in XTV, like as I'm doing this, I'm like, you guys see me, you guys see what I'm all about, and you guys were respecting me. That's why when Bob said that comment, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, okay, like I can finally establish myself a legacy now in XTV. And I was having classic matches after classic matches, and doing that for so long, you're building not only the fan base you already got, that's not only growing, you're building on the new fan base within XTV East. You know what I mean? Already built up on the West when, NMM was coming over and going over there and different things like that. But now it's like, I shot up, and for me to do it, as long as I was doing it, it really meant a lot for me to have LT's respect. And, it was also like, of course he's going to respect it because I'm not the guy that's in people's faces. I'm not the guy, going back to Bob, like I'm not the guy bragging about my titles, bragging about this. I'm just that guy that's winning, showing and proving, because that's really all you need to do.
Right.
And the fact that I'm doing that, it shows. And LT...
I just meant it, in the fact that, because LT, and you know how LT and Killer is, they just always so critical of everybody, but, he wasn't like that with you. You know what I'm saying?
Because,
you're one of the few guys that I saw.
Because I'm not a big mouth. Like, I don't have an ego on me. I know what I'm doing, and I know why I'm doing it, and I'm not going to just, like, bash nobody or say, oh, why am I not getting my just due? I'm just going to just do. That's it.
Yeah, it's just like you said. I mean, you first started out, not winning matches at all.
At all.
And then it was like you said. I mean, it was part of the best of 7 match. Did you come out victorious in the best of 7? Did you win that?
I can't even remember that, man.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was so great.
It was
though.
so
I
intense.
remember. It was like so crazy, and I remember me and Yaki fought in ladder matches, all kind of stuff, and then
the best of 7 series. One of my favorite things in XTV. It's only been a few of them, but they some of the best matches that we ever see.
And I tell you, man, me and Yaki worked hard.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, even with 10 Money, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really know his history in SIDE, but the fact that you know that this same guy having classic matches with Flamindo or whoever he's fighting, it's like this same guy was having these matches back then, knowing that. You know what I'm saying? You can't help but respect that. It's like I wasn't just working this way right when I came in XTV. Right. I had a history behind me. Exactly. And you guys knowing the history behind me, you see like, oh, he did this, he did that. You add it all up, I am a legend. And, you know, you can't help but respect that, even if you are some smart mouth, you know, and I mean, maybe it's me. I hope it's not. I hope this interview doesn't seem like me just coming from my perspective, like with Bob. Like, I don't want this to seem like a bash on Bob, even though I was being funny saying this is a shoot or whatever. It's like, I don't want to seem like I'm bashing him. I really want to understand, you know, like, how are you so intelligent? Because we know Bob, he really is intelligent. But what was going on at that particular time period? Like, I mean, was it drugs? Was the killer really getting to you at that time? At the Vengeance pay-per-view? What really was it? You know, and I mean, we did that's what I was going to say. I was going to talk about, you know, this thing that we lost, because when we lost that one external last year, it's like we had this interesting XTV discussions that we were doing, like the majority of 14 through 15, and we were talking about Bob's behavior. We were talking about that, and we were talking about the WWE. It was Trunks. I think I came in later on. Killer was popping up every now and then, but we talked about that, how like it just didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it was really just that period. Like, Bob has never done nothing like that since, where he was just a heel, but it was no backstory. It was no reason for you to be a heel. You already got the respect of the fans. You know, you already got the respect of everybody. Just to shit on it, you know, you're killing your legacy. Yeah. But
I definitely understand. Bob, you know, he definitely can, you know, he rubs me the wrong way. I'm telling you, you know, he rubs people the wrong way, and, you know, I don't have no choice now but to interview his bitch ass so that we can find out what's really going on. But that's for another time and place. I'm with that 80s guy. This is the shit. You understand me?
How long have we been here, man? It feels like hours.
It feel like a long time? I'm having a good time.
I hear you.
It's 44 minutes. We're about to wrap it up. Only a couple more things, you know. We're about to.
I can go on forever, man.
Oh yeah, man. I'm definitely gonna have you back again, you know. But I just want to say, I just want to ask you a couple questions about, you know, who is your favorite opponent, or what is your favorite matchup that you had in XTV of your recollection?
In XTV history,
or WWE. In your whole career.
My whole career.
Who's your favorite opponent, and what's your favorite match that you was in?
You know, I would say it was my match with Bob. You know, that really would be at the top of the list. But again,
which one?
The one we did at Survival of the Fittest. Like, I would say that, but again, the way it ended, you know what I mean? It was that. But it really is my match with LT when we fought at Sides of Mania.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the last one, because that match felt like on paper, because LT around that time, it was still like this. Like, he wasn't, you know, people didn't really respect him like that. And I felt like, because I always had respect for LT, you know, I mean, that's one thing I want to mention is LT. Like, even when you were at your bad stage and you were bad or whatever, it was like, with Killer, he was just a non-cynical, like, he was a degenerate, you know. But it felt like you had a little level of, like, class to you, you know, even though I got pissed at you at Sides of Mania in 09 when I had won the belt, and you were like, that shit flawed, man. That cracker didn't deserve that belt. And I said, why don't you come over here, bitch, and I'll show you. And then we had our match, and you know, that match right there, even though it's not a really, really good match and you can't really tell what's happening, it's like I did gain respect for you. Like, you even won. You know what I'm saying? Damn, so you won one time and I won the second time.
Yep.
It needs to be a three-peat.
Oh, shit.
I'm telling you right now.
That's a shoot.
On Justin shooting
That's
with you.
a shoot.
Me and you.
Oh, boy.
For a third time.
Oh, shit.
He did
oh,
Ric Flair.
Well, now hold on. Now hold on now. Because, you know, everybody's talking about Pain. Who is it? Pain in 90?
Pain in 90. Pain and Killer?
Pain and Killer. That's gonna be that's the big match.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
That's oh my gosh. That's like the headline. I love it. But Tavari, I think either Tavari challenged Bob or Bob challenged Tavari. I think they're supposed to be doing that.
Well,
I think Tavari got pissed off one day for no reason and was snapping, and he challenged Bob. He just want to fight Bob now.
he in Bob's situation right now. He acting like his ass. Just snapping and fighting niggas randomly. Sorry, I'll leave.
Would you please? Damn.
I'm sorry. Let me say I'm sorry.
I can't afford security or nothing like that. I just gotta
But
keep on telling them to get the hell out of
weed
here.
alone. 80's going to steal your weed. That's why.
Leave. We're about to wrap it up. Please, would you stop?
As I was saying, well, that was just a challenge.
Yeah.
Take it how you want to take it. But anyway, that match, he won, and I always respected LT though. I was supposed to say something with that, but Killer interrupted me.
So that was your favorite matchup.
Yeah,
LT also your favorite opponent, or who's your
favorite opponent of all time? You know what? It's actually Light Up Man.
Light Up Man.
Why did you my partner. What are you laughing at? He died.
Rest in peace.
Did he say rest in peace?
Oh,
Recipe
man.
for the laugh.
I was laughing at Killer.
Why?
Talking about Marty Jannetty. Damn it. Erase that part, Martha. Damn.
I'm good at my CDs out the back. But yeah, we had a lot of classic feuds. Like, I don't like the way our relationships sort of ended. I mean, he did pass away. He got electrocuted. Get out.
Get out.
That's like the same stuff. Damn right, you light up, man. I want to talk about the incident, but I'm loud. Get your ass out of here.
It is not funny. Trunks, get him out of here, please.
Get my boy. His little game, huh?
Damn. I'm sorry, I'm really
It's supposed
sorry.
to be a sad part, too. Well, that damn shit, though. I got a tuxedo on, though, you know.
Hell, we can't hear you. We're going to cut all that part out.
It's going to be hard, too.
Don't worry.
Right, but, that was one of my favorite opponents of all time.
Well, that's good, Ace. I mean, listen.
It's hard to talk about,
Yeah.
I wasn't there when he passed away, but I wish I was there, And, that's one of the things. That's one of the things that's hard about this business. It's like, it's hard to find friends, and it's hard to get people that accept you. You've seen how long it took me to get, come to XTV, and how long it took some people to come from the WWE and get respect in XTV. So that's just hard when you get respect and a friend, and it's just crazy like that. But we had a classic match in maybe '92. I think we had a ladder match, and we had to use a wooden ladder because we couldn't afford the steel ladders that we have now. And we made a great match with that ladder.
Yeah?
Yeah, but
The old grandma wooden ladder?
yeah.
Tat. See, we tell the truth here. We know what ladder you talking about.
But yeah, that was like my favorite opponent. But my favorite match is with LT because that's one of those things. Again, I think XTV probably we weren't doing it a lot. We had to take it. We had to take a break from it because we took like a week from the game to play it or something, or a month before we did Size of Mania. So for us to, me to be in my best condition, LT to be in his, and we both meet on the big XTV stage. And I remember Justin was like, towards the beginning of the match of the night or something like that you had said, and then I'm like, in my head I'm like, damn, this could be,
It was.
And it was like
it was some great matches. It was some spectacular matches. I enjoyed a lot of matches on that card, and I'm gonna have a podcast where I'm gonna review XTV Mania, the last XTV Mania we did. Any one of the West Coast guys is welcome to review it with me. It's gonna be a good time. But I was gonna say, I don't know what I was gonna say. 80's guy, it's been a hell of a ride.
Yes,
man. You told me some good ass shit.
Yeah, and I'm happy to give this away to you. I feel like this is going to be a pretty good interview. Well, this was a great interview.
Absolutely.
But I feel like whenever you talk to either Pain or Best, about their feud in the WWE, I feel like you're going to have a lot of. It's probably going to be longer than this, cause the more and more you talk to me about
I got a whole lot to talk about with the Pain and the Best. Both of those guys got phenomenal stories.
Great stories. Payne still got a shoot interview you guys haven't heard. He did it back in 2011, and we've played it out. Like we know everything he says.
You got to upload it on the West Coast.
Yeah, we was gonna speed it up, but it's better regular.
Yeah. Well, 80's guy, it's been a pleasure, man.
Oh, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
It really has.
Shake hands for real.
I had to shake his hand for real, ladies and gentlemen, because that is my friend, the 80's guy. Pardon all of my weed smoke.
It's all good.
We get high up in here.
He back on drugs. He talking about it's all good. I be doing that shit at my house too. I just want to say it was a pleasure having this interview with you, Justin. It's a pleasure. I want to shout out my daughter Miranda. How you doing? Shout out to my wife. Tracy. He just came up with that.
Shut up.
But he told 80's got it's gonna sound.
I wouldn't tell 80's got to shut up.
It's gonna sound like. Shout out, my right, Tracy. Shut up. Damn.
Oh man, this has been a hell of a second podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really glad I decided to do this. I'm looking forward to so many more guests. A lot of your favorites, a lot of wonderful stories, a lot of great laughs. It's a thing. It's caught on like wildfire. The 80's guy bringing that shit, and I'm definitely gonna have you back again in the near future. Cause damn it, you're already one of my favorites. You already been one of my favorite guys. Period. NXTV, and your story is awesome. I can sit here and listen to this shit all day. But for right now, we gotta go.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, 80's guy. You that nigga.